So I'm now going to explain you the basic challenges that you will face in a listening test. Okay. When I call them challenges, these are the things you have to keep in mind while solving the paper. This will save you a lot of marks. I will also discuss a few strategies. Those remember those 30 seconds we said that you get before you start answering. So what do you do in those 30 seconds? We'll discuss that also. So let us first begin with the basic challenges that you will face. Now, to explain you the challenges, I'll need to take help of an existing, you can say, solved example. This is a typical table filling question, okay, and you will see these kind of questions more often than not in the section 1 audio. Okay, now this is a conversation between two people, okay, and let us listen to the audio, and I'm going to one by one list down the challenges you'll face. So this is the first challenge that you will face. Let's listen to this audio.
This is the ClearPoint Telephone Company Customer Service Office. My name is Ms. Jones. How may I help you?
Yes, I'm moving and I'd like to arrange to have a phone line installed.
Of course. Let me get some information from you first. May I have your name, please?
It's Kramer, Harold Kramer.
And would you spell your last name for me, please?
Kramer.
M-E-R. Got it. Okay. Could I have the address where you'd like to have the telephone connected?
That would be number 58, Fulton Avenue, apartment 12.
Is that a business or a residence?
A residence. It's my new home address.
Then the type of phone service you want is residential, not business?
Yes, it's for my home.
All right, fine. Now, let me get your employment information. Who is your current employer?
I work at the Wrightsville Medical Group.
Then your occupation is doctor?
And no, I work for the doctors. I'm the office manager.
All right. So what did you make out here? What is the part that is difficult? See, we listen to this person who is trying to shift his telephone line, okay, and frankly speaking, in the first audio it's not very understandable, probably because this is a native English accent, okay. So you will get accents, that is the one challenge you'll face, that you will get accents which are British, Australian or Canadian accents, and it can be difficult to understand them in the first go. It can be a shock to you if you're listening it for the first time ever. However, if you practice, you will get aligned with it. So it made it was difficult for me for this from this audio to understand what are they talking about. They are actually talking about shifting a telephone line. Let us listen to the audio again.
This is the ClearPoint Telephone Company Customer Service Office. My name is Ms. Jones. How may I help you?
Yes, I'm moving and I'd like to arrange to have a phone line installed.
Of course. Let me get some information from you first. May I have your name, please?
It's Kramer, Harold Kramer.
And would you spell your last name for me, please?
Kramer.
M-E-R. Got it. Okay. Could I have the address where you'd like to have the telephone connected?
That would be number 58, Fulton Avenue, apartment 12.
Is that a business or a residence?
A residence. It's my new home address.
Then the type of phone service you want is residential, not business?
Yes, it's for my home.
All right, fine. Now, let me get your employment information. Who is your current employer?
I work at the Wrightsville Medical Group.
Then your occupation is doctor?
And no, I work for the doctors. I'm the office manager.
Now, the second thing he said was his name. So the way he said his name is Kramer. Okay. Now you are supposed to write his second name here. What will you spell it? Again, it is because the accent is something that you might not be acquainted with. You might spelling wrong. See, you must notice that in the native English accents, they don't pronounce every letter that is written in the word in the spelling. This is a syllabic language. So when I say my second name is Kramer, you might miss out the word R both in the beginning, that is along the K, and in the end. Okay. That is why they want to test it, and they've gotten it spelled out. Okay, now when it is spelled out, we know that this is the answer for the first one is Kramer, but I don't pronounce it as Kramer. These are not audible. They are the right the right way to say it in a British accent would be Kramer. Okay, so there are just two syllables here, Kramer. I'm not saying mer, I'm saying Kramer. So this is a very important thing. You need to understand how a native English speaking person pronounces their names, their places, their cities. If you can practice this will greatly help you. Okay, however, if you can notice here that the examiner wants to score you marks here, so he's getting it spelled out. Okay, let's move on to the next part of this question, and let's listen to another part of the audio.
Could I have the address where you'd like to have the telephone connected?
That would be number 58 Fulton Avenue, apartment 12.
Is that a business or a residence?
A residence. It's my new home address.
Then the type of phone service you want is residential, not business?
Yes, it's for my home.
All right, fine.
Okay, so we've heard the audio. Okay, now one thing that you can face as a problem here, if you are really starting at a very basic level, let's say if you are level 5, you might find the pace of the audio a little difficult to tackle. Now this is a serious problem that you need to tackle with. The only solution is to listen to a lot of audios. You solve a lot of IELTS related listening. You listen to radio. You can find podcasts. There is a BBC radio channel which has a lot of audio based programs. You must listen to them. I am not going to advise you to watch a lot of movies, because what happens when you watch a movie, there is a visual cue. So subconsciously your brain knows that my main dependency is not the audio, it's the visual. So it starts making sense. But when you listen to a podcast or a radio program, your only way to comprehend what is going on is listening. So that is going to benefit you a lot with improving your pace and comprehension. Okay, so see, when you say the pace is faster, frankly speaking, this is not very fast pace. But if you are finding it fast, then this is a problem you need to tackle by listening a lot of audios. Okay, that is the second challenge you'll face. Now let us look at some other challenges you might face. Okay, I'm going to play a section of this audio, and I'm going to bring out some other challenges that you will face. All right, let's listen to this piece of the audio.
Now, let me get your employment information. Who is your current employer?
I work at the Wrightsville Medical Group.
Then your occupation is doctor?
And no, I work for the doctors. I'm the office manager.
Okay. Now, in this piece of audio, you can understand that there is a discussion that is going on about the employer's occupation. Now, there is a possibility when it's going on that you might be distracted between the fact that he is working in a medical corporation. Okay, is he a doctor? Is that what is answered here? You might write the occupation as doctor. So this is a distraction. Okay, he mentions it very clearly that he is an office manager. But that doesn't come as the first answer. That comes as a discussion between these two people. So you can expect a lot of questions which are based on these discussions. Okay, I will give you another example here. Okay, so this is a discussion based questions. Okay, where your answer is not directly given by the two people in the dialogues. It comes out of a discussion. So the first discussion was about that, okay, if you are working in Wrightsville Medical Corporation, you must be a doctor. To which Harold replies, no, actually I'm not a doctor, I work for them. I'm an office manager. So you see how a discussion was negotiated here and how we got the answer in the last line. So if it's a distractor, you might have a tendency, okay, she's saying you must be a doctor, and you will quickly write doctor here. But you must listen to the last end of the sentence. If you get trapped by a distractor, you will answer something wrong here. There is only one trick to overcome this challenge, a simple trick. Listen to the end. Listen to the end. Then make a decision, because your answer came in the last part of that sentence, where he mentions that no, actually I'm not a doctor, I'm an office manager. Okay, so in section 1 question you will always have some sort of a special discussion in the end. Okay, again, this special discussion, if you are in a hurry, you will make wrong conclusions here. Now I can see that there are two special services that are being talked about here, but in discussion there are three of them. Okay, see, logically, I would say that you can write any two of those three. But here something tells me that I should not write the services that he is not chosen for. So I'm going to write the services he has said yes to. So what are the two services he has said yes to? He has said yes to unlimited long distance calling, and he has said yes to internet.
In addition to our basic phone service, we have several special services available.
Could you explain them to me?
Most customers opt for unlimited long-distance service. It really saves you money if you make a lot of long-distance calls.
That sounds like a good idea.
Then I'll put you down for long-distance service. Another popular service is voicemail. Voicemail takes all your messages electronically, and all it takes is one simple phone call to retrieve them.
Voicemail. No, I don't think so. I have an answering machine to take my messages. It's old, but it still works fine.
We also provide internet service if you're interested in that.
I am. Please put me down for internet as well as phone service.
So you have heard the audio now. Now this audio is going to help us answer question number 7 and 8. Now this is another example of a distractor. See, if you are in a hurry, you might write the first two services that you hear. Okay, but I think the examiner wants to answer here only those two services which Harold has said yes to. Okay, so this is a typical distractor which you had to listen to the end to understand, okay, what are the services he said yes to. Now he said yes to two services. One is unlimited long distance calling, and second is internet. So that is what you have to see. Otherwise you would have write voicemail here. Now voicemail is something that he said no to. He said that I already have a machine and I think it solves the job. So you have this distractor is a common thing that will occur, is that when you are listening an audio, because it goes on while you are solving, you have a tendency to jump onto a conclusion. Don't do that. Wait for the sentence to end. Usually they will always give you some breathing space once the sentence ends, when once there is an appearance of an answer. So wait for the sentence to end. Then when you know that, okay, this is exactly what the answer is, that the two services which he said yes are internet and long distance, and definitely not voicemail. Now another challenge here which we can solve with the same audio. Now my answer to question number 8 is clearly internet. The answer to question number 7 is unlimited long distance calling. This is a common mistake people make. And that is the fourth one that I would like to remind you, is that they forget to follow the word limit. Now this is a challenging answer to give here. Let's say your word limit here is no more than 2 words. If this is the instruction, obviously unlimited long distance calling cannot be the answer. So what you have to do here is you have to compress. See, while answering, you can write it in the rough like unlimited long distance calling, but when you are transferring it into your answer sheet, then you have to make sure that you compress it into 2 words. So you can say unlimited, let's say long distance. Long distance can also be written directly here. You can write long distance calling, where you can put um, a dash between long and distance. So if I write here long distance, and then calling, these are 2 words because I've joined these 2 words. Okay, So this is an important, very important thing to keep in mind, that you have to follow the word limit. Do not write beyond the word limit. There are other errors or challenges that you already know about, because this occur in reading section also, that people have a tendency to write wrong spellings. They have a tendency to write illegible answers. If you frankly ask me, if I'm not able to read whether this is long distance calling, I will give you 0. So don't lose marks on silly mistakes like these. One more thing to notice here is that your spellings and grammar is going to be graded. So if you make a spelling mistake, let's say clearly internet here is not legible, if I think it's not legible, there is a spelling mistake, I will give a 0 for that. Don't lose those hard-earned marks by making silly mistakes like these. Okay. uh, there is one more typical example of how you can answer here. Okay, so let's look at one more typical mistake people make. See, whenever numbers are asked, okay, that this kind of errors is quite often made. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's try to answer question number 6. Now let's listen to this audio part. Okay, so it's a very easy question to answer. It clearly says that he has spent 9 years at his job. Now what are you going to write here? Time at job. Again, this is very important that you have to follow the instruction. You have 2 words. What you are asking here is time at job. Now if I ask you a question, what is the time at your job you have spent, will your answer be 9? No. If you write just 9 here, you are again going to lose marks. So you have to understand that your answer has to make sense. You are given you can write 9 years here. You're given the leeway to give 2 words, so write 9 years here. You can also write 9 in words. Okay, but the complete answer here is not 9, it is 9 years. Okay, the last bit here, which is again related to how a British or American or a Canadian or Australian national speaks, is what you will see in question number 5. So let us listen to the audio here and then try to answer.
Okay, and could I have your work phone number?
It's 637-555-9014.
9014. Great.
Now that you have heard the audio, we clearly are getting an answer for the work phone number. Now this 7 point that you must remember, whenever numbers are discussed, there is a certain way a British national or a native English speaker will talk about numbers. Okay, now this appears for you. This is 0 invented in India, but they don't call it 0. When they are going to say a number, they're going to say it as O. Okay, so 404 is actually 404. Okay, so this is a typical error that people make, or they are not aware that when they say oh, it's actually a number which is 0. This might put you suddenly on the back foot, and you might feel a little disoriented that what did he say or what did she say. Okay, is it a number or is it a letter? Okay, so let's say if you are facing a situation where a number is pronounced, then 0 will most likely be pronounced as O. Okay, so 404, 505 means 505. All right, so I think these are the basic things to take care when you are looking at a listening test. Now I'm going to cover some strategies here. Okay, with the same question we are going to cover some strategies here, and we are going to see how these strategies can help you score higher, and most likely these strategies are going to give you that extra time that you need while the audio is playing on. So let me tell you some very basic strategies here. Okay, the first question that I want you to answer, I want you to ask yourself is that it is said that you have 30 seconds before your audio actually starts playing. What are you going to do in these 30 seconds? See, 30 seconds is not a lot of time, but still you can make a lot of make use of it. So the two things that you have to do in these 30 seconds is you have to quickly look at your question. Okay, and you have to do two very simple things. You must mark it down that what is the type of answer that you're looking at, and in similar lines you must predict that what that answer is going to be. Okay, let me explain you with this simple example we just took. See, this is a very simple case, but you know that the first one I need is a name. It's a second name, it's a surname. So the second name of a person is what I'm going to expect here. You can quickly scribble here. I have to focus on a name. Address, there is something, and then there is something here. I'm actually clueless here. If I see it as a blank, Fulton Avenue, apartment 12, I'm unsure here that what is going to come. So I'll quickly skip this. Type of service, again, I'm unsure, so I'll skip it. This is, there is no question here. Occupation, so I think it clearly says occupation, so I'll make a note of it. This is an occupation. So I know that if it's an occupation, I'm expecting an answer like a manager or executive or probably doctor. Work phone, this is definitely a number. So I quickly scribble number here. Okay. Time at job, again number. I'm looking at a number here. Special services, again these are simple keywords, so I don't know what to expect here. So if I'm looking at it in these 30 seconds, I've already marked, I've got a name, I've got an occupation, I've got a number, and I've got another number. So I'm out of my 8 questions, I am kind of sorted with these 4 of them. Okay, and it will help in another way. See, these are also my, let's say I lose track somewhere here where, around time of service. So I know I can quickly peep into the next question. I know that okay, the occupation is going to come. So forget if I missed on my time of service, type of service, but I will going to catch up again when the occupation is set, or I'm going to catch up again when the phone number is going to set. So this marking in these 30 seconds help you in a time when you lose touch with your audio. Okay, so the third strategy which can again be understood here is that do not struggle with an answer. If you cannot answer something, let's say type of service is something I'm not able to find. Okay, I have missed it. Okay, this type of service, the answer here is probably residential. Okay, we've listened to the audio, but I'm struggling with it, I'm not able to locate it. So what am I going to do? You're going to move on to the next, you can say next marked question. Look at the next question, focus on the next question. You have to catch up again. So do not struggle, do not spend time or struggle with a question you cannot find an answer to. This is an audio, it's not going to wait for you, it's going to keep playing. So you have to catch up. If I struggle with this, I might lose the next 3 ones also. So I might lose 3 marks if I'm stuck at finding the type of service. But if I forget this, let's say for the timing I forget it, I'm not able to catch up, let me move ahead, I might still just lose 1 mark and save rest of my 4 marks. Okay, so this is the third and a very important strategy. If you miss out on an answer, if you are not able to locate on an answer, don't bother, it's just a mark. Catch up with the audio, look at your next question where you can find a match. Okay, so that's that strategy. I think we should take another example to see these strategies. So let me take another example where these strategies can further be seen.